What's up guys, this is Massey. Welcome to another video. In this video I want to talk about some advanced examples in binomial expansion. So I brought you some examples here. Let's go through them one by one. The first one, it says if coefficient of m squared and m cubed in the expansion of 3 plus bm to the power of 9 are equal, then find the value of b. So it means that, first of all, let's write down the general term, tr plus 1. That's going to be ncr 3 to the power of n minus r times bm to the power of r. Then what we can say is going to be, in this case, n is 9. So that's why it's going to be tr plus 1, 9cr 3 to the power of 9 minus r times bm to the power of r. So now when you expand this or simplify it, it's going to be 3 to the power of 9 minus r, b to the power of r, m to the power of r. Now it says m squared and m cubed are the same. So when you're talking about m squared, it means that r is 2. So the coefficient is going to be 9c2, 3 to the power of 9 minus 2, which is 7, b to the power of 2, and m to the power of 2. So that's the coefficient, which is going to be 9 factorial divided by 9 minus 2 factorial divided by 2 factorial, which is going to be 8 times 9 divided by 2. That's going to be 4 times 9 is going to be 36, 3 to the power of 7, b to the power of 2. On the other hand, when we have m cubed, r is going to be 3. So it's going to be 9c3. 3 to the power of 9 minus 3, which is 6, b to the power of 3, which is going to be 9 factorial divided by 6 factorial divided by 3 factorial, which is going to be 9 times 8 times 6, 9 times 8 times 7, divided by 6. That's 84. 3 to the power of 6, b to the power of 3. So these two, when these two are equal, we need to find out the value of b. So b will be 36. 3 to the power of 6 is going to cancel out by 3 to the power of 7, so it's going to remain only 3. Divided by 84. So when you simplify it, 84 divided by 3, that's going to be 28. So 36 divided by 28, we can divide it more by 4. So 9 divided by 7. So the value of m and the value of b is going to be 9 over 7. So that's the final answer for this example. Next one, it says find the positive value of n for which the coefficient of x squared in the expansion of 1 plus x to the power of n is 6. So we have the positive value of n, and n is 1 plus x to the power of n is 6, the coefficient of x squared. So when you expand it, you have 1 plus x to the power of n. You have nc0 times 1, so I don't write it. nc1 x plus nc2 x squared, nc3 x cubed, and all the way to n, which is ncn x to the power of n. So here it says the coefficient of x squared is 6, which means that nc2 is 6. What is nc2? nc2 is n factorial divided by 2 factorial divided by n minus 2 factorial. That's going to be 6. So when you expand it, it's going to be n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial divided by 2 times n minus 2 factorial equal to 6. So these two cancel out. So when you rearrange it, n times n minus 1 equals to 6 times 2, which is 12. It means that n is 4. So n is going to be the value of the exponent here, the index of this binomial expression. Let's look at the next example. It says find x, y, and m in the expansion of x plus y to the power of m if the first 3 terms of its expansion are 729, 7290, and 30375 respectively. So it means that T1 is 729, T2 is 7290, T3 is going to be 30375. So that's going to be T1 is NC0 x to the power of m y to the power of 0, which will be NC0 is going to be 1, y to the power of 0 is going to be 1. It means that x to the power of m is going to be 729. Now in here, T2, that's NC1 x to the power of m minus 1 times y to the power of 1 equals to 7290. And here, NC1 equals to n. So we have, actually the exponent is m. So I need to change it to m. So it means that MC1 is going to be m x to the power of m minus 1 times y. That's going to be 7290. T3 is going to be T3 MC2 x to the power of m minus 2 times y squared equals 30375. Therefore, that's going to be m times m minus 1 divided by 2 times x to the power of m minus 2 y squared 30375. Now what I can do, I can multiply the first one and the third one. That's going to be multiplying 1 and 3. Therefore, it's going to be m times m minus 1 over 2 times x to the power of 2m minus 2 times y to the power of 2 equals to 729 times 30375. On the other hand, squaring equation 2, so when you square that, it's going to be m squared x to the power of 2m minus 2 y to the power of 2 equals to 7290 times 7290. 7290. So when you divide it, it's going to be m times m minus 1 divided by 2m squared, which when you reduce it is going to be m minus 1 over 2m equals to 30375 over 72900, and when you reduce it, it's going to be 5/12. It means that m equals to 6. So m equals to 6, and when we sub it in here, x is going to be 3, because 3 to the power of 6 is 729. And when you sub m and x in here, you can find y. So y will be 5. So x is going to be 3, y is going to be 5. And that's going to be the final answer. Now let's look at the next example. It says find m if the 17th and 18th terms of the expansion of 2 plus m to the power of 50 are equal. So T17 and T18 are equal. T17 is 50C16 times 2 to the power of 50 minus 16, which is going to be 34, times m to the power of 16. T18 is going to be 50C17 times 2 to the power of 33 m to the power of 17. So we can say that T18 over T17 supposed to be equal to 1, because they are equal. So 50C17, 2 to the power of 33, m to the power of 17, 50C16, 2 to the power of 34, m to the power of 16 equals to 1. So that's gonna be 50 factorial over 17 factorial, 33 factorial times 2 to the power of 33, m to the power of 17. And here we have 50 factorial over 16 factorial, 34 factorial, 2 to the power of 34, m to the power of 16 equals to 1. So that's gonna be 50 and 50 cancel out, and we have 117 m over 134 times 2 equals to 1. So it means that m over 17 equals to 2 over 34. So when you calculate it, m will be 1, because 2 over 17 is going to be 1 over 2 over 34 is going to be 1 over 17. So m equals to 1. That's the final answer. Let's look at the next example. Here in this example, it says the coefficients of 3 consecutive terms in the expansion of 1 plus m to the power of n are the ratio of 1, 7, and 42. So consecutive terms, it means that t r plus 1, r plus 2, r plus 3. So it means that we are talking about tr plus 1 is going to be ncr 1 to the power of anything is going to be 1, so I don't need to write it, m to the power of r plus 2 is going to be ncr plus 1, m to the power of r plus 1. Same thing here. Here it says the coefficients of the are the ratio of 1, 7, and 42. So we have these three. It's going to be 1, 7, and 42. It means that ncr over 1 equals to ncr plus 1 divided by 7 and NCR plus 2 divided by 42. So when you cross multiply, 7 NCR must be equal to NCR plus 1, which it will be 7 n factorial over r factorial n minus r factorial equals to n factorial over 1 r plus 1 factorial n minus r minus 1 factorial. So these two cancel out. R factorial is going to cancel out with r factorial and remain r plus 1. And here we're going to have the same thing. We can cancel this one and remain n minus r. So that's going to be 7 over n minus r equals to 1 over r plus 1. So in that case, we can calculate n and r. 7 times r plus 1 equals to n minus r, which is going to be n minus 8r equals to 7. And we can do the same thing here. 42 times NCR plus 1 equals to 7 times NCR plus 2. So when you do that, I'm going to say 42 NCR plus 1 equals to 7 NCR plus 2. Then you result in n minus 7r equals to 13. Then you can conclude, based on that, n minus 8r is 7, n minus 7r is going to be 13. So r is going to be 6, and n is going to be 55. So that's how we find out the value of n. And the term is going to be the 7th term, 8th term, and the 9th term. Now let's look at the next example. So now in this example, it says find the value of r if the coefficients of 2r plus 4, if the coefficient of 2r plus 4th and r minus 2 or second term in the expansion of 1 plus x to the power of 18 are equal. So these terms are having the same coefficients. So it means that t of 2r plus 4 equals to t of r minus 2. And the expansion is r plus x to the power of 18. It means that 18c 2r plus 3, because that's the general term. So we have r plus 1, here is going to be r, equals to 18c, r minus 2 minus 1 is going to be r minus 3. So when these two are equal, it means that either 2r plus 3 equals to r minus 3, or 2r plus 3 plus r minus 3 equals to 18. So case 1, 2r plus 3 equals to r minus 3. Case 2, 2r plus 3 plus r minus 3 equals to 18. So let's look at the first one. It's going to be 2r minus r equals to negative 3 minus 6. So r equals to negative 6. That's not possible. So we need to look for the second option. 2r plus 3 plus r minus 3 equals to 18. So it's going to be 3r. 3 minus 3 is going to be 0. So it's going to be 18. So r will be 6. So r is 6. That's the final answer. Next example, it's saying that if the coefficient of r minus 1th and rth and r plus 1th terms in the expansion of x plus 1 to the power of n are in the ratio of 1, 3, 5, find n and r. Alright, so we can say r minus 1, r and r plus 1. So it's going to be, it means that c nc r minus 2 over 1, because that goes 1 down. R minus 1, here you need to write r minus 2. We had it many times before. nc r minus 1 divided by 3, nc r divided by 5. So we have this relationship. Basically here it has to be, when you do this, it's going to be 3 times n factorial over r minus 2 factorial n minus r plus 2 factorial equals to ncr minus, so it's going to be n factorial r minus 1 factorial n minus r plus 1 factorial. That's going to be 3 over n minus r plus 2, 1 over r minus 1, because r minus 1 factorial is r minus 2 factorial times r minus 1, which you see it here, and here n minus r plus 2 factorial equals to n minus r plus 2 times n minus r plus 1 factor. So that's why it cancels out, and 3 over n minus r plus 2 equals to 1 over r minus 1. So that's going to be 3 r minus 1 n minus r plus 2. That's going to be 3r minus 3 minus n plus r minus 2 equals to 0, which will be 4r minus n equals to 5. And the other one, when you do these two, you're going to say 5 ncr minus 1 equals to 3 ncr. Therefore, you can conclude it if you simplify it and do this cross multiplication. You're going to have 3n minus 8r plus 3 equals to 0. Then based on that, you can do simultaneous calculation of linear system. So if you do that, n will be 7, r will be 3. You can use elimination or you can use substitution method in order to find it, to find n and r. Let's look at the next example. It says the third, fourth, and fifth terms in the expansion of x plus a to the power of n are respectively 84, 280, and 560. Find the values of x, a, and n. Okay, so T3 is going to be nc2 times x to the power of n minus 2 times a to the power of 2. Then T4 is nc3 x to the power of n minus 3 a to the power of 3, and 5 is going to be nc4 x to the power of n minus 4 times a to the power of 4. So this one is 84, this one is 280, this one is 560. 560 divided by 280 is going to be 2, so I can say that n factorial over 4 factorial n minus 4 factorial times x n minus 4 times a to the power 4 divided by n factorial over 3 factorial n minus 3 factorial x to the power of n minus 3 times x to the power of 3 is going to be 2. So when you cancel that, that's going to be 1 over 4 1 over n minus 3 x a equals to 2. So we're gonna say n minus 3 times a over 4x equals to 2, which doesn't really help, but the thing we can do, we can multiply these two, which is gonna be n factorial over 4 factorial times n minus 4 factorial times x to the power of n minus 4 times a to the power of 4 times n factorial 2 factorial n minus 2 factorial times x to the power of n minus 2 times a to the power of 2 equals to 84 times 560, which will be 47040. Then when you simplify it, that's gonna be n factorial to the power of 2, 4 factorial, 2 factorial, n minus 4 factorial, n minus 2 factorial, x to the power of n minus 4 plus n minus 2 times a to the power of 6. That's going to be 47047. Then you're going to say squaring equation 2, which is going to be t4 here. Just square it. It's going to be n factorial over n minus 3 factorial, 3 factorial, x to the power of n minus 3, a to the power of 3. To the power of 2 is going to be 280 to the power of 2, which is going to be n factorial to the power of 2, x to the power of 2n minus 6, a to the power of 6, over n minus 3 factorial, n minus 3 factorial, 3 factorial times 3 factorial. Here is going to be 78400. Now, if we divide this one by this one, it's going to be, let's have n factorial squared. This one is going to be x to the power of 2n minus 6, a to the power of 6. These two are equal. The numerator is equal, but the denominator is different. So when you divide this one by this one goes up. So it's going to be n minus 3 factorial, n minus 3 factorial, 3 factorial, 3 factorial, divided by 4 factorial, 2 factorial, n minus 4 factorial, n minus 2 factorial equals to 47040, which is going to be n minus 3 factorial divided by n minus 4 factorial is going to be n minus 3, and then these two cancel out. N minus 3, and here you can write n minus 2 in the denominator. 3 factorial with these two cancel out is going to be 3. 3 factorial with 4 is going to be 4. And here, let's see how we simplify. It's going to be 470487840. 4704 divided by 3 divided by 3 is going to be 1568. Oh, we cannot do it. Divided by 4, that's gonna be 11761960. If we can one more time, that's gonna be 490 294. 42 divided by 7, 70. One more time, 6, 10, 3 over 5 when you reduce it. So you have 3 over 5. When you cross multiply, it's going to be 15 n minus 3 equals to 3 times 4, 12 n minus 2. So that's going to be 15n minus 45 equals to 12n minus 24. So that's going to be 3n. 45 minus 24 is going to be 21. N will be 7. So we found n. Now we can go back and find x and a. So n is 7. So we can sub it there. We can say 3, 3. N is 7. We had T3 here. Instead of n, I put 7. 7, C2. X to the power of 7 minus 2 is going to be 5. A squared is going to be 84. T4 is going to be 7C3. X to the power of 4. A to the power of 3. 280. 7C4. X to the power of 3. A to the power of 4 is going to be 560. So now these two are equal. 7C3 equals to 7C2. So we can say x cubed A4 over x4 A cubed is going to be 2. Which means that A over x is going to be 2. It means that A is double x. So we can say from the first one, 7C2 x to the power of 5, a to the power of 2 is 84. So we're going to say 7C2 is going to be 7 factorial over 4 factorial over 2 factorial, which is going to be 6 times 7, 42 divided by 2 is going to be 21. X to the power of 5, 2x to the power of 2 is 84. So that's going to be x to the power of 5, 4x squared equals to 84 divided by 21 is 4. Therefore, it's going to be 4. X to the power of 7 is 4. So x is going to be 1. And a is going to be 2 times 1 is going to be 2. So x is 1, a is 2, and n is 7. So that's going to be the final answer. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment if you have any question. Please don't forget to subscribe this channel and recommend it to your friends and colleagues. You can have access to many other videos regarding binomial expansion and other topics in math, physics, and chemistry. Thank you for watching and have a great day.